Translation and purport by Śrīla Prabhupada. Lord Rāmacandra returned to his abode, to which bhakti-yogīs are promoted. This is the place to which all the inhabitants of Ayodhyā went after they served the Lord in his manifest pastimes by offering him obeisances, touching his lotus feet, fully observing him as a fatherlike king, sitting or lying down with him like equals, or even just accompanying him. Purport by Śrīla Prabhupada. The Lord says in Bhagavad-gītā 4:9, janma karma janme divyam evaṁ yo veti tattvataha chaktvareham punai janma naikimam iti surjiha. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. Here this is confirmed. All the inhabitants of Ayodhyā, who saw Lord Rāmacandra as citizens, served him as servants, sat and talked with him as friends, or somehow or another present during his reign, went back home, back to Godhead. After giving up the body, the devotee who becomes perfect in devotional service enters that particular universe where Lord Rāmacandra or Lord Kṛṣṇa is engaged in his pastimes. Then, after being trained to serve the Lord in various capacities in that prakaṭa-līlā, the devotee is finally promoted to sanātana-dhāma, the supreme abode in the spiritual world. This sanātana-dhāma is also mentioned in Bhagavad-gītā. One who enters the transcendental pastimes of the Lord is called nitya-līlā-praviṣṭa. To understand clearly why Lord Rāmacandra returned, it is mentioned herewith that the Lord went to that particular place where the bhakti-yogīs go. The impersonalists misunderstand the statements of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to mean that the Lord entered his own affordance and therefore became impersonal. But the Lord is a person, and his devotees are persons. Indeed, the living entities like the Lord were persons in the past, they are persons in the present, and they will continue to be persons even after giving up the body. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad-gītā. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rāma, Rāma Rāma, Hare
Hare. Coming to the end of the pastime regarding Lord Rāmacandra, which is summarized here in the Bhagavatam, because Sukadeva Goswami, we've already heard this many times. It wasn't like the pastimes of Lord Rāmacandra were unheard at that time. They were very well known by all in the Vedic culture, and they're very ancient and well recited by many great personalities, whether it's Markandeya Rishi, whoever it is. But great persons always glorify, because by glorifying these wonderful pastimes of the Lord and hearing these pastimes of the Lord with his devotees, you see the special mercy of the Lord, which purifies us of all the contamination of material existence. That's why one of the main reasons the Lord performs pastimes in the material universes from one to the next, as Prabhupada mentions here, that Lord Rāmacandra also lets his pastimes. They're going on eternally. It's just like an eternal show, which is, you see it kind of unwinding it. Like the sun, you see it rising. Always it's rising. Somewhere it's rising. It's risen here, it's risen here in Sydney. And it rises in different times, in different places. I think, does it rise an hour later or earlier in Queensland?
Queensland's later.
An hour later or earlier? Huh?
Later.
Later, 1 hour later. It's interesting. Just crossed the border in 3 heads, the sun hasn't risen yet. You've got to wait another hour before it rises. Is that what happens? It hasn't risen. Right on the New South Wales side of the border, the sun rises. It hasn't risen yet on the Queensland side. It rises 1 hour later across the border. Interesting. It never rises as that. The sun's always there. You just label rising, and according to our condition, we try to measure things. Material nature, you have to measure everything. But Krishna's pastimes are always gone. I say, well, when did it start? When did it end? When was Bhagavad-gītā spoken? When did Lord Rāmacandra appear? This, that, the other. You know, he's just revealing his chances. It's like Ayodhyā, billions of living entities living there. In Vrindavan, billions of living entities. I was just reading this morning how each coward boy had up to 10,000 billion calves. And there were hundreds of billions of coward boys in Vrindavan taking part in Krishna's pastime. And each of them said to have up to, not all of them, depends whether they're Shankar or Atma or whatever numbers they had, but then up to 10,000 billion calves. Can you imagine? It's inconceivable. It's a show. Krishna's revealing like a window to the eternal, unlimited spiritual world. The same thing with Ayodhyā. There are countless living entities living in Ayodhyā who, are worshipping Lord Rāmacandra, previous lifetime. Some of them are eternal associates. The Lord comes with his eternal associates, just like anyone comes with their entourage, or even in our own Krishna consciousness movement, the devotee may have close associates who teach other devotees how to do a particular service or how to do whatever it is like that, They do like that. And some of them are always with him, and some of them are just coming in. And all different types, some of them like that. So in Ayodhyā, the same as in Vrindavan, some of the associates are eternal. They're not coming in. They're coming with. And then coming in are different, different persons from different places, maybe different relationships with the Lord, and so on and so forth. But they're entering in, they're associating with the Lord's internal opulences, who are personified in various forms of Sival, or whatever they were in Lord Rāmacandra's pastimes with Hanuman, and there's the Sita, in the case of Sita, there's no other country, there's only with Sita, but with Kausalya, or with Vishishta, or whoever it may be. They're persons associated with that particular kind of bhav, or mood, pure mood, how to serve Lord Rāmacandra perfectly in that mood. The aspiration is there already. There's no other interest. They just want to render their lives to the service of Rāmacandra. Lord Rāmacandra therefore reveals that some part of the universe is revealing his pastimes along with his associates. Whoever has that mood, then they are entering in. It's like even in, I don't know in this country, but don't get it, but in Malaysia they used to have, I suppose they still do, they had places where Muslim people there, if they're going to go to Ayodhyā, they're going to go to Mecca, then they first of all, they spend some time in this place just getting ready so that they're, they got the right mood when they go, they expect what to expect, different kind of lifestyle over there. They get them prepared before they actually go to Mecca. Like that. Every few weekends, I don't know, whatever. Some kind of preparation if they haven't been before. And then they go. But they prepare themselves. So this is like that. Developing the exact mood first, trained up. It's like getting trained up. Apprentice, like an apprenticeship or something. And you're getting trained up before you go actually into the eternal sanātana-dhāma. You enter into the the manifest pastimes within this world, the prakaṭa-līlā of the Lord, within the universes, in this case Ayodhyā, and wherever universes the pastimes are presently being seen as rotating. Pastimes always going on, and they rotate around the universes. Because it's on a different plane, you can't measure it. You can get that window, but the window is showing an unlimited dimension. We're looking through is only so. You look out your window, right? You look out your window. How is that possible? The window is only like 4 foot by 3, maybe, and outside you're seeing this huge, many miles of scenery. And you look into the ocean or the hills. It's big, huh? You're looking through the window, and you close the window, and you don't see it anymore. But that's still there. So it's like that, We're seeing that it's not measurable according to the limits of our room. And a room may only be 20 foot by 10 foot or 15 foot, so a small room. And we're looking out the window, which we may not be there, but we're looking at it. And if you become attracted to that window, to what you see, that's the whole idea. To become attracted to what we see through the window, or through our senses. So the Lord allows us, and the opening of the curtains, so you can see those pastimes. The mercy, mercy of the spiritual master. He opens our windows by giving us various. And this tells us how to open the window. Sometimes nowadays, these lines, and they're so complicated, you know, all these wires hanging. You get all tangled up sometimes, and things get stuck this way and that way, and it doesn't go down, doesn't go up, you know, you can't this. It's so complicated. You know, sometimes you need help, you know, which ones to pull. You have to go out, pull it this way, you have to pull it that way, you have to go up and down. Quite complicated sometimes. And you need some help sometimes. How to open the windows. I want to open blinds or curtains. How to open them. Sometimes windows are complicated nowadays as well. They don't open at all in some cases. There's curtains, no windows. Many times we go to a place, there is no window. There is no window. You're in a box. There's no windows in it. There's modern hotels or something. There's no windows sometimes. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Huh?
This tent has no windows.
Oh, in the temple room here, we have the real window here. We don't need windows out there. What are you going to see out there anyway? Yeah, it's really good we don't have any windows to go out during class. That's maybe why not so many devotees come. There's only Krishna to look at. It's terrible, isn't it? You can't look out the window and see who's walking out there or going by or, you know. So you're locked. You can't even smell what they're cooking for breakfast. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. You're like in a box, you know? Isn't it? Terrible. It's not bad being in a box with Krishna. It's pretty good. Anyway, that's another thing. But generally, people do have windows, at least they used to. So they couldn't have an aircon or something. When that doesn't work, that's the end. It's finished. Anyway, what to do? So this is like a window. You're seeing a little glimpse, tiny glimpse of what's out there. If we look much, most animals and birds and beasts, they're not really very conscious of what's going on around them. They're very kind of focused on the here and now at the most. And they're not very broad in their ability to perceive beyond it. And most humans aren't much different either. They look at it, think it's just another material thing. They don't understand. They're completely absorbed in seeing everything. And because they're so self-centered, according to the modes of nature, people are influenced by. They see everything in that way, you know, good or bad, and this or that. They compare it, you know, this is terrible, you know. Well, something like, you know, what we heard the other day about Lord Rāmacandra banishing Sita to the, to Valmiki, ashram, and so on and so forth. People think this is terrible. This is disgusting. Even taking sannyasi, most people's eyes, is disgusting, isn't it? Even amongst Indians, right? What do you think, Nishananda? It's kind of a disgusting thing to do. To leave your family? What grandchildren? What about your grandchildren? Right? What about this? What about that? This is disgusting. You heard that before? Mostly you heard from the background. I don't know how you made it. Some of you joined the Brahmacharya ashram. Unless it's been very sunny, I think we come from Indian backgrounds. All from Indian backgrounds? Is it? Yeah? And your parents, I don't know, maybe they were into it. Some parents aren't, some parents are very understanding. Most people don't, they're too attached. They don't appreciate. They may like the pastime, but it's misrepresented. You know? They tell the pastime in such a way, the Gita, they try to twist it around to make it some peace manual, you know? Something like, you know, whatever, change the word to fit the conditional perception. The whole idea is to change our conditional perception, not to fit it. These days religion is to fit, isn't it? To fit our conditional perception. They make it to fit, basically. And even to the extent, we'll change it. We'll somehow or another find a way of reinterpreting the meanings or the, whatever it is of the statements which previously meant such and such. That is a common thing. And we may do the same thing in our own endeavors, you should say, to practice Krishna consciousness. In Jacchanti, there's Vedic literature, there is accommodation to various perceptions, but not to change the actual principles. There's different rules with different fools in Vedic society, so they can gradually open their eyes and see what's outside the window. If your eyes are closed, all you see is a blur. You see it's a blur, or you only see that which is very close. You're short-sighted or whatever, long-sighted, whatever it's called. What's blurred vision. So the spiritual master opens our, it's like, you know, cleanses our vision. It's like a person who's got a cataract, he can't see. The thing is there, you're there, But the cataracts, you can't see it properly. It's just not there. And even if you do, that's all you know. You'll think that's all it is. And that you conclude that is what it is. But it's not really the full thing. You may get a reflection of it or a little dim vision of it, but it's not at all. It's just a lot of rubbish, people say. Because they can't see it. They don't have the eyes to see it. They don't have the purification. The only way we can see these things, or understand these things, and become eligible is as bhakti-yogīs. Those who are actually bhakti-yogīs are those who have no other motivation. They don't have these Their vision is uncovered. It's not covered over. It's inhabitants. It's uncovered. It's not covered over by all these other, colorings with which we perceive the perceivable. And it's not really perceivable, it's just covered over. Even when Kṛṣṇa entered into the wrestling arena and the Yogya of Kamsa, everyone saw him differently, doesn't it? Everybody saw him differently. You've read it in the Kṛṣṇa book, most of you probably. Everyone was wrong. There were so many different ways of people seeing him. And they wonder, well, Kṛṣṇa is revealing himself accordingly. There's no doubt about that. But in one sense, he's the same, but because of people's perception or conception, perception, they see him differently. And that's how it is. I mean, you see the same thing in this material, different things are seen completely differently, isn't it? Completely different. For one person it's horrible, for another person it's wonderful. Same thing. Some food is like that, isn't it? Some people like hot, spicy food, some people don't like hot, spicy food. Same thing. It's just that it's not the soul per se, I mean, you trace it back to the soul, but it's the particular condition of the soul's in. And interacting with certain objects of this world create a different impression. For some people it's a nuisance, and to other people it's their life sustenance. It's like some weeds are the life of some living entities. Those weeds are its life. And to that living entity, that's like the most important thing, food. And for others, they're just getting in the way. Clear it out of the way. Get rid of it. Everyone sees things, same thing, very differently. The same thing. Human beings, some people may look at the human being in completely different ways. It's a quarterback, etc. The whole idea of bhakti-yogi, the bhakti-yogis have no interest in the room. They're interested in the spiritual vision, spiritual. Of course, they spiritualize the room they're in. That's another aspect of it. We have to learn how to spiritualize our room. That doesn't just mean the 20 by 15 room that you live in. It means the body which you're in. This physical and subtle body. How to purify that so that also, it will. In a sense, that's how it is. It's like here we see, literally, they're the aspiring sadhakas or whatever they are, who are coming into the Leela. They're literally there. It's not like they're just looking at it, they're actually there. At this stage we're looking at it, and the idea is to become attracted to it. But in another sense, we're there. Because you devotees are all doing pretty much service. I mean, maybe you're working in other things too. But every spare moment you're doing service. And so Rāmacandra, everybody here, are doing nothing else. At least you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be looking through the window which shows you, material thing, unnecessarily, only to the point where that is actually engaged in service. Not where thank God, now I can do something else, now I go to the movies or watch some kind of some crazy thing, whatever it is, sport or something. Not like that. That may be there in the beginning, but that's next, it's not pure devotion, not pure bhakti at all. It means we're still going to be one foot on the material world, one foot towards the spiritual, but the idea is to have full yoga, vichara, bhakti-yogi, full engagement in devotional service, not falling down under any circumstances. They can attain that spiritual realm. And as Prabhupada mentions here, it's not the Brahma-jyoti in this case. Mayavad may interpret the merging. Kṛṣṇa performs these pastimes just to basically purify us or something, Lord Rāmacandra. If you become absorbed by the pastimes, you merge into the oneness of what Rāmacandra is, all-pervasive Brahman, and he's appeared in this world as personification of the mode of goodness, just come up with all kinds of things they come up with. But the Lord's pastimes are eternal. They're never ending. They're eternal pastimes. And as you see in this material world, everyone's looking for them. We are always, whatever it may be, we're always looking for some rasa, some relationship. This is the perfection of that relationship. The Buddhas won't want anything else. It's not that the Buddhas are kind of like, well, Krishna consciousness is better than the material world. It's not like that. In the beginning, in sadhana-bhakti, sometimes it's compared like that. The happiness derived from devotional service is superior to the happiness we get in devotion, superior to the happiness derived from sex life or sense gratification, attraction, a little higher text. But the Buddha don't even think of it. They're not thinking of anything else. Pure devotion. It's not like you think, keep trying. Surely I'll get a better taste eventually. But they're not thinking of the material world. And there's no thought, there's no concept, no conception that material life might be happy. Those who have actually attained that level. Potentially, yes. But realistically, no. The thought is not there. They're so absorbed. And that's what we're practicing. Bhakti is practicing to fully engage. Although you could say, in one sense, our consciousness is not completely Krishna conscious by any means. But our activities and our associations, etc., are as much as possible complete. They're always in relationship with Krishna. You're not just washing any old floor. If you're washing the temple floor, it's not any old floor. You're not just eating any old food. You're only eating that which is offered to Krishna. Knowingly or unknowingly. We're not just singing any old song. Oh, sometimes people can say, well, are you going to sing a different song today? Oh, we can sing any Krishna song. No, the latest song, a nice song I just learned, and I just heard a nice song. Can we sing that today? Sometimes people say in our programs. Indian people, they want to sing some Mayavadi song or some local folk song that somebody in their village made up or something like that. Or, whatever it is. Some pabo, this pabo, that pabo. Different types of things. It's all one to them. It's all the same. And some people say it's all the same. You can do this, you can do anything you damn like. It's all the same energy. Which in one sense is true, but that doesn't mean to say it's all one energy, therefore you can eat this wood, call it, or eat this light for breakfast instead of, samosas and gulabs. But if you just give people a piece of wood for breakfast this morning, save a lot of time, give them some leaves or give them some wood from the tree that fell down for breakfast, you could have used it, save the wood. Giving everyone a chunk of wood every morning for breakfast, the same energy is all one, right? What difference is it? It obviously makes a difference. Everything has its purpose. Those spiritual masters, they teach us how to utilize everything which we're attached to, but how to utilize it in a way that will be actually attract us towards Krishna, and not keep us tied up in this world. It's back and forth, it's up and down, it's gradual process, call it what you will. But that's the idea. To create an environment, a situation by which we can become attracted towards Krishna. It's like on book distribution. And it's very nice seeing the Buddha so seriously standing in front of the deities when you chant the 6 Shashvatam prayers. I wish I had your spirit for that. I just want to get on with it. But it's like, it's very nice focusing on the deities and chanting, when we're focusing on Prabhupada, when we sing or say the translation of the Guru Vandana prayers, etc. Like that. It's very nice. It's a very nice sign, a good sign. Or chanting together in the temple, japa, or reading together. It's a very nice sign. This is the medicinal cure for our misconceptions, leading to our false perceptions, etc. Coming together with devotees so that we begin to focus and see things in a different light. Otherwise we just compare them to our material experiences. It becomes a relative like and dislike type of a thing. And we never really come to that spiritual platform. Very nice when you have that focus on the deities, on book distribution too. very successful and wonderful with your book distribution here in Sydney and other preaching activities, many preaching activities going on in this most important city in the southern hemisphere, practically, isn't it? I mean, last night we were at the ashram in King's Cross. A lot of people. I didn't know the room, you could hardly get in. And then the western suburbs, the devotees in there, maybe a different arena of preaching people, but the same principle is there, somehow or another, to attract people to Krishna. Somehow or another. Remember Krishna. That's the principle, isn't it? Somehow or another, we awaken remembrance of Krishna in people's lives. There's still a bit of work to do in the kind of separated atmosphere, so to speak, where we still identify ourselves separately from Krishna, living in this so-called material world, where we still see things compared to our own situation. The devotees from Ayodhyā and Vrindavan are not. They don't think, they're not even thinking, just like we were reading yesterday. I was feeling pretty white cloud, but we were reading. What were we reading in Shachinandan's house, in the Krishna book? Remember? What were we reading? Some prayers, weren't we? Do you remember? No, it's terrible these days, isn't it? Yeah? Who was it? Who remembers? Maybe you were not there, I don't know. You were on Sankirtan. Who was there? Chan, you were there? Huh? I know it's Krishna book, but what was the pastime? And I was skipping over the prayers. It was going on and on. Oh, I know who it was. It was Krishna retrieved the dead sons of Devaki, the 6 dead sons. And it's like, it's like, and this is the fact. I mean, Devaki was, Vasudeva was going on reverential prayers. You are the Supreme Personality of God, the Super Soul, the Lord of everything. On and on and on and on. Page after page. And reverential prayers, recognizing Krishna as, you are not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma, they all worship you, you are God. And then Devaki took it up with a similar kind of motherly kind of, the same reverential prayers towards Krishna. You won't find that from Nanda and Yasoda. No way. They just love Krishna because there's no one else to love. That's it, full stop. Who else are you supposed to love? I mean, you love everything related to Krishna, but basically it's just loving Krishna. They're complete. Their devotion isn't even mixed, it's not even tinged with reverence. And Ayodhyā get a bit of both. It's a kind of in-between scene. But it's still, they're completely absorbed, even if it is reverential, because the Lord reciprocates. There's a reverential blame also for pure devotees. They know their interest. There's a reverential appreciation. It's not like that's the only one. If people have any concept of a relation to God, it's almost wholly and solely reverential. Almost. At the, say, the general stage of people's whatever little understanding we have of God and who we are and so on, there's some kind of reverential side to it, which is pretty much the only side. People don't conceive of, you can have a conjugal relationship with God. That's like blasphemy to most people, isn't it? In the world. Blasphemy. What the hell are you talking about? Well, you can play in the pasturing grounds, pinching each other's food, throwing, fighting with God, rolling on the floor, beating him up. This is nonsense. Because they don't have any access to it. They're not eligible. And even we may think about it sometimes. It's impossible. If Lord Brahma thought like that, he's there in Sampradaya. What is this? Krishna in the pasturing on the banks of the Jamuna, he's stealing some sweet or some yogurt from one of his cow boys and pushing it into what kind of God is this? Because he's also tinged with this reverential position of Brahma, he's tinged with mood. They can't see it, even on the spiritual realm. The pastimes go on, sometimes they overlap a little bit here and there, but generally they're kind of like, that's it. The cowboy boys are not thinking about what's going on back home with Mother Yasoda. They don't care less. It doesn't exist in their relationship with Krishna, only when it's overlap. Oh my God, now Mother Yasoda is taking Krishna, what are we going to do? But otherwise, they don't have nothing to do with that. And vice versa, or the gopis. It's nothing. It's not seen. We can only see, we're not God, we only see a little bit in the material world, speak of the spiritual world, whatever is relevant. But what we want to see is just Krishna, whatever it is. It may not be Krishna, Radha Krishna, maybe Sita Rama, maybe Lakshmi Narayan, but whatever it is, that's what the devotees aspire. They have their different, some people are. Maybe not eternally attracted, but presently attracted to different forms of Krishna. Maybe they become attracted further in the future to, let's say, a more complete aspect of transcendence. But some people are just the way they are, up to them that's complete. Even if they realize there is Radha and Krishna, which are even more complete, but they're balanced to Lakshmi Narayan or Sita Ram, that's the kind of man, or Gupta, he was just attracted to Rāmacandra. He couldn't give it up. He was about to give up his body because he said, I can't do what you want me to do, Lord Chaitanya. I can't do it. My affection, my attraction to Lord Rāmacandra is so much. If I have to do this, I'm going to give up my body. Lord Rāmacandra, Lord Chaitanya knew that. He said, no, you don't. Because actually you are an expansion of Anamaya. You are eternal associate with the Lord. The Lord's not their eternal associate. They will never change. They're internal. They will never change. Their path always remains in that direction. Even if they manifest or expand into other pastimes, the same type of bhav is there in the other pastime. Ultimately their attraction is to the Lord Chaitanya wasn't appearing as hidden. He wasn't appearing as Krishna or Ram normally. Something whatever. Because Lord Chaitanya was appearing in the mood of the devotee, so he didn't reveal specifics. But they were all attracted, all the eternal associates were all unlimitedly attracted to Gauranga or Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu too. But the ordinary jivas, we may be attracted to a particular form of the Lord, not that we're going to expand into each and every one, as the opulences, personified opulences do, and may appear in every lila. In a different mood, not different mood, a different form, unrecognizable. You may do that if it's necessary. The opulences appear when they're necessary in personified forms. But we jivas are a little different. We're meant to be attracted to those personalities and their mood of service towards Lord Rāmacandra, towards Lord Kṛṣṇa. It's wonderful, just like in the Sankirtan movement. I was just going to say just now what we used to do in London when we joined. But it was a standard thing. We'd always come back. Just giving one example, I'm not saying we should do this, but we always, first thing after coming on Sankirtan, we go before the deities, and we pray to the deities when we got back, and thank you them for engaging us in this service, and we offer all of our collections to the deities. That was it. We didn't bother counting them. We just offered them all to the deities. And then the next day, the treasurer would read out all the distributed scores and everything. And we would always carry a picture of that Londoneshwar on Sankirtan. Always. It was nice. It was very much conscious of the deity. We were very deity conscious in those days, I must say. And the deity worship was real simple. Really simple. It was not more than 30 minutes in the morning to do everything. Dress the deities in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Now it takes a whole couple of hours, and that's 2 or 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many hours. That's several devotees. It was real simple. There's no bathing. Not all the deities were dressed. Jagannath deity, big Jagannath deity, were only dressed once a week. Only once a week. Rather than this, when they dressed every day. But just take long to take off the dress and put on another dress. Because they were simple. They didn't have all these things and going up into the air, sticky things and wires and the whole full. You see them in the front windows and shops sometimes. None of that stuff in those days. Maybe some pigeons or something going in together. It's real simple, really simple. And so most of the time they're all together chanting japa. Everyone in the temple, all chanting japa. It was nice. Baba said he liked it. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. And then the rest of the time, sat in front of the deity, we'd open the curtains, and the deities would chant japa right in front of the deities every morning for an hour and a half. It was really nice. I can't forget it. It's just a very special experience. And I don't do it now, but I mean it's a very special experience. It reminded us of what we're doing it for. God, the Lord appears in the deity form for this very same purpose. He appears in his personal form and performs pastimes, which manifests sometimes in Ayodhyā or in Vrindavan, wherever it is. But he's here now. He's appeared in this form, and the holy name, and booked in so many ways. Very wonderful. We have this chance to think like that, because everyone's just thinking of Ram. They can't live without Ram. They just become motionless if Lord Rāmacandra is not in the picture. There's just no meaning to their lives. There's not, oh, here he comes again. That's nice. Good morning, Ram. Nice to see you again. Where have you been? It's not like, ordinary dealings, A little bit with a mother and her child. If the child's away, sometimes the mother goes completely bananas. They go crazy. They don't know where their child is or something. They're absorbed in their child. Probably the closest thing we get to this type of absorption. They don't care about any damn thing that's going on elsewhere. They only care about their kid. What people think is irrelevant. Sometimes it goes to that point. Completely. But it does have its limits also. And it's materialistic, it's selfish. In this case, you can say it's selfish, but Prabhupada said there's only one thing we can say is mine, and that's Krishna. You can't say my wife is mine, my child is mine. They're not, they belong to Krishna. So that mood is that they're thinking, oh, Ram is mine. Some thinking, I am Ram's. But that's on a higher level, Ram is mine. It's like another thing. My child is mine! Don't you come near him! You see that with the cows, right? The cow and the calf. You ever been with a cow who's just given birth to a calf? No other cow, no other person can go near that calf. Very difficult. Cow. My calf. Later on, of course, nature changes a little bit. In the beginning, it's like that. We're really possessive. We can become possessive about Krishna, but not to the extent that we cause offenses, of course. That's another thing. At our stage, we can imitate, but that's the actual point. We come to that platform that there's nothing in our life other than Krishna. I have no other purpose of existence. And the same thing. So if Krishna's manifest pastimes are no longer manifest on this plane, what are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to go where you're going to go with it. He doesn't want separation either. He can't bear living without these pure devotees. Because Krishna lives through his pure devotees. He can't bear a moment without his pure devotees. He comes to that platform and it's inseparable. It becomes inseparable. So the eternal associates Lord give us Lakshman, Aman, Kaushalya, whatever bhava in Sita Devi. They give that. And if you do, we see in the pastimes of Lord Rāmacandra, have a developed mood, like Sita's mood is conjugal, but you can't enter into Rāmachandra's pastimes and be a conjugal relationship. So those sages who did develop that conjugal, they were attracted next lifetime. Of course, they were in Vrindavan, they took birth there. Krishna's reciprocated according to that mood. But those who are actually in the moods of Ayodhyā, they're completely absorbed in that mood. Totally. And they associate with those who are perfect devotees in that mood. And that's how you become perfect, by perfect association. Right now, it's because our conception and our perception is impure. So our practice right now is just to purify it and to try to do everything in a kind of reverential way. Prabhupada said we worship the deity in a reverential way, basically speaking. It's more like actual shrine worship, because invite sadhana bhakti to purify our tendencies, to purify our parupas and this and that, so on and so forth. So that gradually we're just, more and more for Krishna, for Prabhupada, for Guru, for Krishna. More and more the thought is there, oh my God, do I really have to do this? This is like a prison house. And sometimes we hear the word say this is like a prison house. I heard someone say that yesterday, I was stuck here, I had to do this. We don't realize this is the release, this is the process to release us from the prison house. We want to stay in prison, basically, just be an independent criminal, and eventually being caught by time and strangled, put to death, electrocuted, at this point, death sentence. Thinking it'll never happen to me, or I can't do it. I'm going to avoid that. No, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm still going to be okay. Not easy. But the resident without that, there's no meaning to that life without, Ram, Krishna. They have no purpose in existing. They don't see it. Lord Chaitanya, even himself, what's the point of existing? Yeah, he was showing that separation from Krishna. And so the same thing with the rest of Ayodhyā. Lord Rāmacandra decided to finish his pastime. They just all went with him. The whole Ayodhyā emptied out. Just gone. Finished. Of course, Kṛṣṇa established that basically everyone who was in, that pastime, all went back. They just went forward. Those who were eternal associates never leaving in the first place at any point. And those who were coming into it, they had no interest in anything else. All back to eternal. So when we hear about this pastime, the idea is we become a little attracted to it, we become purified by hearing it. We may not be able to imitate it. Some people want to imitate it. They think they're already there. That's also bogus. We have to follow those who are there, the eternal associates of the Lord who appear in a sadhaka form. It's like Prabhupada appears in a sadhaka form to give his association to us who are trying a little bit anyway, to become Krishna conscious. And they teach it in a sadhaka form how to move, how to step by step, whatever it is, how to come to a platform of pure, unalloyed devotion of service. And the more we dedicate ourselves to serving them, following in their footsteps, the more that move will naturally develop. And, well, Prabhupada, bhakti will also develop naturally. It's not something you artificially impose upon anyone, especially oneself. It only happens when it naturally develops. It's not something you practice. In Bhagavad-gītā, there's practice, but you don't practice to become a Bhagavad-gītā. You follow Bhagavad-gītā, whatever the level he's teaching us, why. And that if he's a Bhagavad-gītā, you have that mood of service developing, and naturally will evolve initially not. Developed, Prabhupada says, of its own accord in due course of time, a spontaneous attraction to the Lord Ram as the majority of the residents of Ayodhyā have a spontaneous attachment, or in Vrindavan. It's not like, oh gosh, I gotta get up now, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, brush my teeth, oh gosh, I just want to go back to bed. Oh, why do I have to go on sacrifice bed? Oh my goodness. Class is so boring, the same thing every day. What is this japa? Philosophy is just the same thing on every page. There's different words. The mind sometimes thinks, oh, it's thinking anymore. We don't have that spot. We're not Krishna. It's not there, man. Why do I have to sleep? What a disaster. We think, when can I sleep? If only I could get a little bit extra rest. Just another hour. Squeeze another hour. Boo, I get a little extra hour. That's it. They want to see Krishna every moment. Every moment they want to serve Krishna, see Krishna, whatever it is. On their obeisances to Krishna, worship Krishna, depending on their mood. They just want to be absorbed. That's what they want. Day and night, like a mother just wants to be absorbed in a baby or a child doing something, or cleaning his nappies, feeding him, cleaning him, protecting him, rocking him out, arms, kissing him, whatever it is. The deity, God said to a baby, is now your deity. The mother, the baby's the deity. So the only focus practice. Krishna's in the background somewhere, but the baby is in the foreground. And the same thing with deity, the deity is in the foreground, but what that means, we have to see what does the baby need. What is here called the time and circumstance. What will please the baby? What will be most satisfying? Okay, well, just like if the baby's hungry and you kiss the baby, that's not going to satisfy the baby. You've got to know what the baby wants, right? If the baby's not hungry, and you try to force it to eat, that's That's not going to satisfy you. You don't know what the baby wants. You may love the baby. You got to know what the baby needs. Similarly with Krishna, you wouldn't know. We don't know. We hear from the pure devotee. What does the baby need? What does the Lord like? How I can serve him. The pure devotees teach us how we can develop that mentality, which is qualifying the jiva to enter in to the eternal realm. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the wonderful class. You're making this point about comparing, like a pure devotee, he doesn't think about material life, he's just focusing on the spirit. So similarly, like, there shouldn't be comparing, in material life I was happy like this, and in spiritual life I'm happy like this, like making that comparison. So is it wrong to think like before I was suffering and now I'm happy, or?
No, when Vaidhi Bhakti, reading Nectar Devotion, the Subhada, happiness in Vaidhi Bhakti at the beginning will be comparative. It's natural, and it is. You remember sometimes, we have to sometimes realize why I've come to Krishna consciousness at whatever level I've come to, which may not be so high, but something. And because I wasn't satisfied in the material world, I tried, I was young. And sometimes we see this, a person's 50 years old, they've been devoted for 20, 30 years. They were married or they were doing something in the material world, they gave that up because it wasn't satisfying or whatever, something was not right. They came to Krishna consciousness for whatever direct reason it may be, someone or another. They think, well, maybe we should go back in. But when you look at it, 30 years later, you're not in a better position than you were 30 years ago. The world's changed considerably. And your health is probably not so good. And you probably are not so beautiful as you were 30 years ago. Usually the case. And you're just out of touch with things. It's hard to get a job. Sometimes you've got to go back to university, try to get a degree, try to get a career at the age of 55 years. It's crazy. But sometimes it happens. People say there's something they have to work out in their lives. But in real analysis, you've got to see, wait a minute. 30 years ago, it wasn't satisfying. How on earth is it going to satisfy me now? I'm 30 years older. The world's changed. It was miserable then. So that type of thought sometimes, it doesn't have to be 30 years, it might be 30 days. But that type of, sometimes you have to do that. And of course, you may say, well, perhaps I was happier there, I'm so happy here. Something you have to go through sometimes. Other doors will try to convince you, no, good, another goes. But you have to make that decision. And some of you do have to get enough realizations yet. You haven't had enough nectar in the material world yet to realize. People are squeezing out a bit more nectar out of the material world yet. There's still a bit left, a bit more squeezing. I'm sure I'll get more than I did last time. Yeah, I can do it. The material mentality. So in the beginning, but they're healthy, not necessarily, It's good if it is discussed amongst devotees, say, in a bit more of a kind of broader perspective on your own. Sometimes if things ain't going too well, you can get too caught up in it. You do kind of drift out the window somewhere, the spiritual window, go back into the room, and try and enjoy yourself in the material room until you get a good kick up the backside and come running back. It takes a little while sometimes. Yes, that is there in the body. It's there. It's like Bhagavatam sometimes we'll say, well, why don't you just talk about all the good things? Why are you talking about the horrors of the material world? This is not nice. Don't talk about that. We get this regularly in preaching. Sometimes people say that. I don't know if you've experienced it, devotees, or some Indians or some New Agers or whatever it is. People who are kind of like on the periphery of some kind of spiritual understanding. They often say that. Just talk about the good things. Most of the gurus, that's all they do. They just talk about the leelas and all this kind of transcendental thing, which people have no real qualification to actually understand fully. Without full understanding, it's just proper close way for janma divyam, evaṁ. And one who understands the transcendental nature of appearance and activities in this world does not take birth again, but attains the eternal abode. But that understanding is not just some, relative understanding, or some partial understanding, or reflective understanding, perverted understanding, whatever it is. When the heart is completely pure, then it's revealed. It's prakaṭa-līlā, it's not pleasing because of that material position. So sometimes it's not, different things there. But in the association with the right devotees, then these things are really discussed. Prabhupada did a lot. He talked a lot about the pain, the sufferings of this world. And sometimes people, as I say in the day, sometimes it's a little difficult in Australia because a lot of people have pretty good karma temporarily. And you can show another Gold Coast. We talk to someone sanctum, you've got to use your common sense. This is like, muscular, handsome guy, the golden tan, the beautiful girl from some foreign country or something, or Bali or something under his arms. And he's on the way to the beach with his surfboard. They say, man, this material is a place of suffering. Look at that, like you're crazy. What the hell are you talking about, man? It's fantastic. You got something. You should see the cycle. You got something wrong with you, isn't it? I mean, they think they're enjoying it. It's great. The surf's up. It's fantastic. The sun's shining. My mates are here. The beer's good. I got loads of money. I got a beautiful girl. But what are you talking about? I got my sports car over there. You're nuts. You're nuts, man. You're nuts. Now that's, you can appreciate it. They're so absorbed. They got some good karma. And temporarily, they got something seemingly very nice. But how long did it last? And even there, the surf may be up, but you may be down. You never know what's going to happen out there. And you never know with your girlfriend. She might, while she's almost in the surf, she might meet another nice boy. You come back, she's not there anymore. And you go and see your car, and someone decided that they like your car, and it's gone, And you get a nice drink, you go in to drown yourself in your sorrows, you have a good drink, and then afterwards you get so angry, you smash someone's problem, you find yourself in the morning in jail somewhere, being tried with, some crime or something. Eventually this happens. But, in association. So sometimes you need to point these things out, they're a little tactful because people are not seeing it the same way. But somehow or another to attract people to Krishna consciousness. Baba did both. You could say the negative and positive preaching in the material world duality. You have to use both, but for the same purpose. On a spiritual platform, there's no question. Oh my goodness, I better make the flower garlands for Krishna. Otherwise I might end up serving beer in a bar somewhere in Sydney or something. This thought never comes in. Oh, it was so nice when I was serving beer in that bar. I had my own independence. So on and so forth. No question about it. They may see, you may come down to this platform and see people serving beer in the bar and see all these things going on, but if you come like that, they can see that so-called party that people are having is going to come to a disastrous end somewhere down the line. The people are having a party can't see it, but one above it can see it. It's like a blind man crossing the road. He can't see. He thinks, oh, this is great. I'm just freely going here and there. They can't see it. The cars have got them not them flying. But when there's, not eyesight can see. Stop! Get out of my way. I'm enjoying myself. Get away, you nonsense. They may smack you. If they think they're having great fun there, then all of a sudden, bang! The truck hits them. We're going to have to get to because of the devotee yesterday. Very sorry to say, maybe some of you knew or didn't know, but one of our devotees from Nugato got killed yesterday, hit by a tractor in Vietnam, run him over, got killed. Wonderful devotee. Practicing Sharma, I don't know if you know. Oh, you may have seen some of the videos here, have seen her. She was looking after cows in the garden. She was a cow girl. And some tractor, crazy. Danger at every step. When it comes to an end, no matter what they're doing. Bang! Why is it happening to me? My mother said, when I joined the temple, she said, why is this happening to me? What have I done wrong to deserve this? say all the time, why me? Why me? Someone said that yesterday, why me? Somebody died or something, why me? Why my husband? Why my son? Why this? You know? It's not why, it's when. It happens to everyone. Oh, Buddha made that clear to us with an 19th person. There's no one on the planet, anywhere, any species, we don't experience this. It's not just you. That's the nature of this world. It is becoming shashvata. Maybe you're nice now, but how long will your dream last? Wake up. Look around you. Don't think it's not going to happen to you. But having as a reminder, both of the past and the future, is necessary, and then a positive alternative. Without an alternative, life is meaningless, isn't it? There's no meaning. If you don't have any alternative, it becomes a meaningless thing. That's why so many people are atheistic. You can understand it. In a sense, atheism is like, in a sense, more logical than sentimental religion in some ways. Because it's meaningless. Completely meaningless. I'm going to go to eternal hell. What is this? It does, all illusion. It's all nonsense. It's just a threat. You can understand it. Because they have no real understanding of the actual nature of life. They're covered over. If natural people become atheism, it's a little spiritual, impersonal too. It's kind of natural, without a proper understanding from those who can see the truth, who can reveal the truth to us. And natural people become atheistic or, nihilistic or whatever philosophy they've got, or even suicidal, because there seems no point in it. What there really is there, materially speaking. Your whole life you're going to die, and if there's nothing beyond it, what's the point of having it in the first place? Doesn't make any sense. It's kind of meaningless. We're struggling and battling with each other over nothing. Ridiculous. But by the mercy of the Lord, we have this understanding of the original, the real reality which we're seeing a reflection of. We look through the window and gradually our vision becomes purified. We can begin to focus, realize this is the reality, not this material. Hare Krishna, Prakaṭa-līlā, Bhagavad-gītā,